All right, and I guess we are live. Very convenient. Let me wave. Is it functioning? Okay, all right. I think we're okay. I see that you are watching us on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll get off of that. Hold on.
No worries. But it's working, so that's half the battle.
Oh, you know what? I got my speaker turned off, so this actually works because then I can see the comments if I go look for them.
Okay. Good, good, good. Well, did you have a preference? Oh, so you wanted to play the Russians?
Yeah, I want to play the Russians.
Oh, okay. All right, then I guess I came in just as observer, so I could be whatever needed
Yeah.
to be the case.
I
Okay.
want you to describe as you go because I think you describe things better than I do.
Okay. Well, I'll take that, I guess. Um, Now the challenge is somewhere here I've got the PDF of the setup. So Murat's
And did you get the
massive
mails I sent
gallery.
you this morning?
I
Did you
did,
get the link I
but
sent you?
yeah, I did, but I mean it's all Greek to me, so I figured you could explain what
Ah,
the heck
fantastic.
it is. Um,
Yeah.
and that way then we can do whatever. So I did pull up the scenario. This is from, I guess, the most recent scenario book that came out with Rule 1.1.4. No, 1.5.
5. Yeah, that's exactly the one we should use.
Okay, all right. So it looks like the French have 7 activation cubes. Uh, No, let's see. The 11 a.m. turn starts. So the players have 7 activation cubes each. Okay, and 2 fire
Yep.
cubes. Okay,
Yep.
so that's that. I wonder what it was in the original rules. In the original rules, yeah, it's 7 activation cubes each. Okay, so that was a difference between what we had with our last game, where the activation cubes got nerfed.
Yeah, I'm just counting them up here. And I see that there's only 6 Russian cubes in the bag. And you can tell that because I'm learning a lot more about the activation bag. You can right click on it and you can see what's in there. And I count 7 Russian or excuse me, 7 French and 6 Russian. So I'm going to add in one more Russian.
Oh, well, no, because you start with the initiative.
Oh, you're right. It's probably stuck on my map.
No, it's sitting there on the board. I I
Oh,
yeah,
oh yeah,
I
sure is. Okay, I need to open my window larger.
yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Oh, so that is interesting to see. Yeah, because I guess you would have to, because when you get down to the last 2 cubes, when you're playing the main scenario, you're supposed to stop. So,
Right. Nobody knows what the last 2 are going to be.
right.
But but with the scenarios you don't. You go to the end of the bag.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it says on the first turn you put aside one of the fire cubes and one of
Yep.
the Russian AC cubes because the
Yep.
Russians have first activation.
That's what I've got too.
Start the following order phase. Continue with activation. So, is it a case where we are then issuing orders to everybody?
Yes, they actually have different orders if you look at your army chart now. They've got
Okay.
move and defend and attack and all sorts of stuff. And I think that we should start the phase by adjusting those if we want to, once we have our AFPs organized. I think we should play with the fatigue points.
It's very
using
interesting.
Renatos.
As observer, it's not letting me see any of the army boards.
Oh, okay. You could try solo.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, when I was observer before, I could do anything practically.
There's
Um,
a solo setting, but I think that I came into maybe it triggered when I came in as Russian, it turned you off or it turned off your view.
all right. So the question is, where do I go to change?
Good question. It's the fourth icon in the toolbar. It's the little computer with the recycle arrows.
Okay. All right. So then I just selected French. So solo, let's do that. Yeah, because I like to be able to pull up yours so that way people that are
Yes.
watching can see both boards. Okay, so the French have got, oh wow, we got a whole boatload of stuff there. Guard, First Dragoon, all the and Cuirassiers, First Division, Fourth Corps, First Division, Seventh Corps, Second Division, Seventh Corps. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. And I don't know what our objectives are, but
My objective is to get 20 stacking points to the west side of the road that runs south from Preußisch Eylau to the board edge and control the cemetery.
oh, so you're on the attack.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I don't know if you remember the story, but the Russians were attacking and the French weren't responding. And Napoleon said to Murat, "Are you going to let those fellows eat us?" And Murat hopped on a horse and went out and kicked ass.
There you go. Although I think your question that you'd posted in Board Game Geek was, is does Murat actually ride with the cavalry?
It's an important question, and the answer is no, he does not at this time. But I think that's a mistake. And I mailed the developers and said, "Hey, I think you ought to change this." We'll see what they say.
Yeah. I saw that. I'm like, oh, okay. Somebody's thinking ahead there.
The reason for that is that you have all these paintings of Murat charging with his riding crop. He
Yes.
didn't even carry a sword there, or he didn't use it apparently. But I thought that just doesn't sound right. It just doesn't sound right.
It's like, come on, he's got to do something exciting.
But Mark, one of the editors, pointed out correctly that if you don't see something in the rules that says you can do it, then what is your basis for thinking you can't? So the basis is history, but game wise, no. He behaves like a corps commander.
Okay, so then we're just plunking people on the map at this point. And then we got to kind of sort them out. Is it a case where we are just simultaneously setting up?
Yeah, I don't see any reason not to. I don't think there's a problem with that. But I am going to turn off the center on opponent's moves box because I want to
Yeah,
not have a
otherwise
view. Right.
you'll get seasick.
I was like yesterday years old when I figured that out.
It took you that long, huh?
Unfortunately. Yeah,
All
sorry.
right. Fourth Corps, First Division, Saint Hilaire. Okay. Yeah, in the so with Labatai, um, their stuff, it is this particular scenario isn't a um, it's like it's nothing but the cavalry charging or something. It's almost like,
Yep.
well, let's just see how it goes, and so it's the French are on the attack. So I was like, oh, I get infantry. I wasn't expecting that. So it's just like, hey, let's have this big, huge cavalry charge thing kind of happening.
Yep. I think that's what we all remember most, but
Yeah. All right. Who's supposed to set up in the cemetery? The guard? Set up French. Okay.
So for
The
everybody that's
French
watching this,
guard. Okay. Four chasseur
the setup's not
battalions.
always super interesting, but at least you can see how we drag them off of the order of battle chart, and you can see that the initial locations for each division are listed in the on the map in color there. They're a little hard to kind of figure out, but they're basically all hexagons. So you just got to find the hexagon that matches the center, and that's where your guys go. So this guy right here is within 3 hexes of second division. So
All right. All right. So within 5 hexes of. Yeah. So for whatever reason, when you have your the setup zone for the guard cavalry is looks like it's only a single hex, but here in the book it
yeah.
says it's 5 hexes.
Oh, I should fix that.
Okay. Just thought I'd let you know.
Next go around we'll change that. That's a good call.
All right. And then within 2 hexes of the cemetery, I've got the guard infantry. Okay. And then everybody else looks like they're more or less where they're supposed to be. Do you know if the setup is materially much different from original? Oh yeah, it was like 2 hexes of stuff, 3 hexes. Okay, so it's quite a bit more flexibility in the setup. And there's no way to turn off the setup for each individual group, correct?
Well, unfortunately, there's not. That's actually a pretty good call. I should have done that, but it is not so.
Okay, and then what are the boundaries? I presume Prush Eylau is off limits.
No, I don't think there's any boundaries actually limited here. The boundary is where you're supposed to go. That's interesting because there's no
I mean,
units in
because
Process Eylau.
Eylau would have been full of Marshal So's units.
Yes, it would have.
So
Okay.
yeah, so there's got to be some sort of boundary. Otherwise, I can't defend everything with what I have. I'm missing an entire core.
Right, but there are no victory points for Eylau.
I know, but
Yeah, you're right.
if you're able to maneuver through Eylau and I'm not able to do it, then you're able to attack the cemetery from 3 different sides.
Exactly. And you know, it also says that control of geographical objects at the beginning of the scenario. So it lists the geographical objects, including Preussisch Eylau, but it doesn't give any points for them. I think we should make it that you can't go below. Um, well, there's units opposite here. I think that we shouldn't be able to go below this road. Does that seem reasonable?
You mean go above it?
I'll go above it.
I would say that uh, I mean if we're looking at this, I would say that this hex here is the northernmost one on the French side that you could
Okay.
possibly enter. That all of these other hexes of Eylau and all of this other area here is no man's land because you would have had an entire French corps over here. You got
Sitting
So's
right
whole,
there. Yeah.
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 So
I agree. So how about look at this, and we have
so
squares.
if we were to like draw a line across here, you know, something saying, "Hey, oh, that'll work."
I'm just going to be a little complete and put that in there. And then we should probably, yeah, there's no way to get across here, so there's no point in going up there.
Yeah.
How about that?
Okay, that'll work.
Yeah, this is the first time I've played this, but that's exactly the kind of thing that should be mentioned to the developers.
Yeah, yeah, because
Precisely.
we had the same issue when we did the attack on night quarters. There was
Yep.
the, oh, you just go around Eylau and attack them from the
Yeah.
rear, and you're like, the entire Russian army is over there.
You're thinking like an armored cavalry guy, not a cavalry guy.
Mm, mm. I'm thinking of somebody who's played enough of these other games to know what's going on, I suppose. All right, within 5 hexes of that. Now, what I'm really missing is the guard artillery. Where is the guard artillery? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. I can see that being important.
Slightly. All right. Well, I have not downloaded the latest and greatest version of your Vassal module. So I'm still
Oh,
using
well,
version 1.0.
that's actually fine because Vassal draws counters when you drag them out onto one of the maps. And that OOB is a map. So it draws all the counters without all the new fancy features. So
Oh, okay.
we need to redo the setups. I've found enough stuff to maybe do a dot release, I guess. I will talk with Nicholas.
Oh, my goodness. They've got a few small, tiny little battalions over there. Small little batteries. Can look forward to getting pasted by them.
Oh, what's the worst that could happen?
Hmm. Let's see, does the cemetery count for anything, or is it? Oh, okay, it's the same as a village, it says here. Okay.
Yeah. So it's obstructed terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm getting ready for Cachabra, and I'm reading a book about the situation.
Right.
I'll get the author in a minute, but it's super interesting. Um, I had no idea that the first 6 or 7 months of 1815 were just action packed for the Allies in trying to figure out what was going to happen with Saxony and all
Mm,
sorts of places. And there were genuine threats of war between Austria and Russia over how to handle Saxony and Prussia. And I bet you could make a pretty good game of that, you know? Because I think that on the way to Waterloo, there were something like 600,000 Russian and Austrian troops. So you have a lot to pick from.
right. All right. Saint Hilaire.
Because my my feeling of the 100 days is that you had a whole lot of French fresh troops and reconstituted people, and they only totaled like 120,000. And then you got, a large Prussian army, a large Anglo-Allied army. But I had no idea that the Russians and the Prussians and the Austrians were still coming.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's
there's,
why Napoleon was doing what he was doing, um, because he knew he was if he just sat back and waited, then he'd get hit by everybody all at once. So he was trying to knock out an army and then another army and another army to give himself room. And then, if he defeated the British, then he'd have to dash over and attack the Austrians or attack the Russians or whoever was the next, army coming up the line.
yep,
So, yeah. And I think one of the last battles of the Napoleonic Wars was there, where General Rapp had some army he was fighting off either the Austrians or Russians or some combination of the two.
yeah, I don't know enough about these times. So I've got another book that I've got to read actually on paper called Thunder on the Danube, which
Right.
is about the 1809 campaign.
It's very strange that I have these orders to move for what's his name? For Saint Hilaire. I'm like, where am I supposed to move to?
Well, that was the trick. Saint Hilaire was supposed to go up and hit the guns. It was supposed to be the first part of some infantry movement, and he got displaced in a snowstorm. And he made a left-hand turn, moving directly up from his positions between the village and the guns when the snow lifted. So he was caught right in front of all the guns.
No, that's
And I
that
think that
that was
was
actually, I think, Desjardins. That was Augereau's corps. It
Augereau. Okay.
wasn't Saint Hilaire. He was down in the south. He was attacking Serfalen.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, Augereau's corps got pasted with all of that stuff. All right. And we're within 3 hexes. 1, 2, 3. Okay. our little artillery duel here.
Core is huge. This division. So what I'm doing at first is I'm pulling out all my grenadiers that are elites and
Right?
making sure that they're stacked with somebody that's not elite. So I'm trying to spread out the goodness.
Yeah, that's what I did with the Battle for Night Quarters to try to have um, get that bonus on
Yep.
stuff. You don't have too many, but you got a few. That is what
Yeah.
Sackins. Yeah, Sackins division. That's a pretty big
Yeah. It's
division.
pretty big.
So I am principally on the defense, it looks like. Victory. French player wins by avoiding a Russian player victory. Okay. And it's 20 units you're supposed to get on the road or beyond the road.
20 on or beyond.
Okay. All right. First Dragoons, where do they start off? Within 2 hexes of that. No, within 2 hexes, 2 hexes, 3 hexes, 2 hexes. Okay, so the setup is not significantly different for the Dragoon divisions.
Hey, I enjoyed that interview with the guy from Japan last night.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good interview. He's a neat guy, and I like I played his game a few times. I like the a lot of stuff that he's got with the rules. Um, and it's just a different kind of take on here's a different take on a battalion scale, one. So
Right.
and this one has it doesn't have the skirmisher kind of thing too, but you kind of feel it with the Russians are paying 2 points to move into zone of influence, while the everybody else is paying 1. So that kind of
Yep.
is simulating the fact that oh yeah, the French had more skirmishers out there that would have slowed down or delayed the Russians, and this is kind of how that's being handled.
It's interesting that he has kind of done some of the same things as the developer on Eylau in terms of removing Chrome, or reducing Chrome. It was an interesting interview. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
I'm not a big fan of the Peninsular War, so I'm not sure that I'm going to get it though.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, I know there's some people that like those more than others,
Yeah.
but they tend to be because he's got the hex scale larger. Um, that is physically larger, and the
Right.
counters are physically larger. You can't easily do a bigger battle. So that's kind of like why I don't, I don't think there's not going to be a one of these versions of Vagram,
No.
or I've La Bataille has those, and I've got an 8 foot long table, 8 by 4 foot table, and the map barely fits on it, kind of a thing.
That Vagram was the first one I ever played in with anybody else. Everything else had been all on my own with Moskova.
Right. All right, so I got a bunch of people that are starting off already with hits on them. Okay, that must have been because of the previous day's stuff. Oh, and I do have Augereau somewhere here on the map. Who is he stacked with? He's supposed to be with Houdelet, but I don't see him. All right. With the setup, he didn't get plunked down. And within 4 hexes. Okay. Do we have any weather? Or is it everything
I
is
was just looking
clear?
that up. Um, uh, what is interesting is that the Russian artillery reserves can't limber, and neither formation may change their orders in this game. So that's what I was seeing right there. So
So they're basically just so you can't move them at all, or
can't move them at all,
okay,
right? So they are where they are,
interesting.
which is really kind of bad because I got to move one here. I don't want that.
Yeah, because otherwise you don't have much space to move people around, I would guess. But don't they all have to be adjacent or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, they all have to be adjacent to one other member of the reserve. I got a question for you.
Yep.
I don't think that this is determined. It probably ought to be. In La Bataille, you can't fire over another unit, even though you're at a higher elevation. It
Well,
seems
in
to me that you
some of
would
the
be
rule
able to do
sets,
that.
that's the case. So
Okay.
in Regs 30, you can't do that, but in a lot of the others, you can. And in this game, you can fire over the top of somebody, right?
Okay, I think you can too. I just wanted to double check that we weren't coming up with a surprise because I've got so much artillery in this reserve here in the left wing that if I want to get it in combat, I've either got to move it or I've got to set it up right. So I'm
Yeah.
going to put one of these guys down in the valley.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not aware of anything that prevents you from
Neither am I.
um, doing that.
Okay, weather is snowfall for the first turn and clear for the remainder of the game, remaining 3 game turns. But we could change that if we wanted to. What do you want to do? Do you want to do with the weather?
Um,
Oh, it's already even in the right spot.
I don't know what. Otherwise, we would just be rolling for the weather each turn.
Yeah, each turn.
Okay.
It would. I mean, obviously, at the worst, it would just put the kibosh on everything because you wouldn't be able to
Right.
see and all that. Well, it might be interesting though. Cavalry charging out of the snow.
Yeah. Or attempting or thinking about it.
You've seen that clip from the French movie, right? With the cuirassier charge.
Yes, I think it's. I've seen a clip of it from on YouTube.
Yeah, that's about as good a clip of a cavalry charge as I've ever seen.
Okay.
So I think I'm set up now. Well, I'll wait for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get people in the right spot and try to figure out what I want to do. I got people on attack order, so I guess they could counterattack you if you did something particularly tricky. Now, is there something with the fatigue cubes that we want to talk about?
Yes, absolutely. We do need to do that. I sent along earlier, well, the scenarios are set up so that they don't use army fatigue. You're supposed to learn the mechanics of the game, then use the army fatigue in the overall grand battle. However,
Right,
a fellow named Renato in the UK has gone through and developed alternate scenarios using the AFPs. He has not done one for Murat's charge. However, he does have a graphic showing how many cubes. And I think that if we just grab those cubes, that's a good place to start, and we can talk about how to use them. I think that those add a lot to the game because if you overcommit in terms of how many attack orders you do or things, you're going to end up running out of power, and you're going to your fatigue points, and you're going to collapse.
right.
And I think that's a good mechanic. So I like to put them into the game.
Okay. No, I'm fine with that.
All right, so let me go get that picture. All right. Oh, it doesn't show that, does it? Okay, crap. Wait a minute. I got the wrong image. Let me go and see if I can find this real quick. So it's Renato Nemes, and he's in the UK, and he actually has gone through and really looked at these scenarios and come up with new ideas on how
Right.
to do this. He's it's very good read. Very
Cool.
good read. Yeah.
All right, and Desjardins is starting 4 hexes. Northeast hexes. Northeast. Oh, so they actually, I need to change their deployment. They've got to start further back. So northeast. So yeah, if you're going to be redoing this, if you look at it, it says 4 hexes northeast of it. So it's not within 4 hexes of the spot. It's got to be actually off to the northeast. 1, 2, 3. So then did I get Saint-Hilaire in the right spot? Okay, so he's within 3 hexes of that spot. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's all correct for him. But the other guys are behind the ridge from the looks of it. 4 hexes northeast. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Well, that's going to be a problem. Then Grushi's got to move back. He's with 2 hexes of D1, 2, so he's got to move back a little bit to make room for the infantry. Okay, all right, so these guys will go here and here, and those guys will go, I guess, back here. Okay. Then Grushi's got to be within 2 of that hex. Okay, so, and that hex is that hex right there. Okay, all right, so again, I guess he can deploy down this way. 2. All right, and then Milhaud is within 3 hexes of that. Those are woods. We can't go through the woods. So that doesn't do me any good. All right. Do I have them in the right spot? There's my magic hex, okay. All right, and then Milhaud is over here.
Yes, you were absolutely right. Algaro is the one that took the wrong turn. Saint
Yeah,
Hilaire went straight across, but he didn't have much success either on Sir Palin.
right. It wasn't until
He
the until
Davos
Davout
attacked.
showed up. Yeah,
Yeah,
although in our game.
yeah.
All right, let's see. All right, and then does it say where Murat starts off? Murat with any divisional cavalry leader. Okay. All right, we'll put him over here with, I guess, Klein. Well, this is very weird because I've got 7 activations, but I've only got really 3 formations that can do anything this turn, right? Because everybody else is on a hold order. So I can't move my cavalry at all during the first turn. I can't,
No, but
I
what
can't,
you could do is you could put that activation cube on them at some point, so that next turn you could do the cavalry charge.
oh, and activate them all
Right.
with one
So
cube?
So the way that the cavalry charge works is that Murat, if he can accumulate a cube, and then he gets a second cube, and when he gets the second cube, he can control up to 4 cavalry divisions and have 4 cavalry divisions charge as one unit.
Yeah, but
But
they all have to be under attack orders, right?
they all have to be under attack orders. But if you get the first activation cube, it persists across the turn. So if you start at the first turn, get your activation cube there. Then on the second turn, you change orders and you can take your second activation cube. It's a little bit of planning ahead,
Right.
as opposed to waiting in one turn to get 2 activations. You can use an activation that you're not actually don't need in your first turn and save it and use it in the second.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not. Okay. Well, that is my setup. I'm going to hit the remove the moved markers kind of a thing.
All right.
Um,
So let me get rid of this. Let me look here. So we are going to do the weather,
do we want to, I mean, like randomly do it?
like randomly do it like we're playing a regular game, or do you want to go with the rules?
Um, we can, uh, I guess we could randomly do it. I don't know. What do you think would be fun?
I think it all is fun. It's going to give us some basically wild results. This may not turn out to be a very satisfying scenario, but it would show us what snow does. Or we can just use the scenario without the weather. I think we should maybe do it without the weather just to do the scenario all the way through.
Okay,
Let's do
yeah,
that
let's
one.
just stick with the scenario as is then.
But I have added AFPs to your card. So if you look at your army card now, in your army fatigue area,
Okay,
and you might want to bring that up so that people can see it.
I do.
Okay, good. So you'll see down at the bottom, there's that section with army fatigue.
Right.
And I have looked through, Renato figures these out different ways and then he play tests it, but he hasn't play tested this one. So I set you up one with a value that he came up with, which was 99 fatigue points. And I have more units and I get 109 fatigue points. So I've got 109 on my card and you've got 99 on yours. And of all the values he chose, I chose the 2 values that were closest together so that we weren't going to be really, there wasn't going to be a big disparity. So as you plan charges and as you move things, as you give orders, you expend these AFPs.
Right. So so the idea is that for this turn, we need to have we need to spend our AFPs?
I think we should, yeah. I think we should. I think that's kind of how the intention is. Um, because if we end up with like 30 AFPs at the end, then we're not really kind of learning or doing anything. So I think that we should try
Right.
and figure out that.
So you've got, looking at it, you've got Bagaboos under defend orders. Your
Right,
two artillery big batteries are under defend orders, and those can't change.
right.
And it doesn't make any sense that you change them. It's not like you're going to put them on attack. You'd either
Yeah,
put them on
right.
move or defend. But
Bagaboo's got some good cavalry, but not right now.
yeah, yeah. Um, and then let's see, what else have you got? You've got the 14th Division.
It's
The
on
left
move.
wing cavalry reserve is under move. The 3rd Division's under move. The 8th Division. So everything's under move, and the only thing that's on attack is the French, and
Right,
they're on the other side of the ridge. So,
right. And surprisingly, I have the initiative. Go figure. Because I'm not doing anything. I don't care. Anyway, so yeah,
well,
you're
is it
right.
because you've got more? I mean, let's see, initiative points. The move gives you 2, so that's 2, 4,
Four,
6,
six,
8, 10. You've
I have
got
10.
10, and I've got, well, my attacks I've got 10 as well. The attacks are 4 and 4, that's 8. I've got 1 under move, that's 10. So
Okay.
they're tied. So how does it work when they're tied?
I haven't seen that in the rules, so I would either make up a quick house rule, like roll for it, or whoever draws the first chit,
No,
that would work
there's
too.
gotta be something in the rules that
In the event of a tie, let me look.
in case of a tie, the French player has the initiative. The initiative
Okay,
player
there we
will
go.
put aside one of his available ACs in order to be used for the first activation. So obviously the scenario is stipulating the that the Russians have it this turn for whatever reason. But in the future, um, then I guess it would be the case where we take a look and see what it is. But yeah, interesting. Okay. Well, you've got
I
the
got
initiative.
I got dogs here, so there's just a little bit of that going on. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of my fatigue points for what I've got. So I'm going to count those up. So a move gives you a -1. So there's one, two, three. Well, it's easy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I lose 8 army fatigue points.
And I'm going to lose 5 because the attack orders are worth 2 and the move orders are worth 1. Um, so let's see here. I guess I can kind of put those off to the side somewhere and then highlight them and then right click and send to the
Send them
common
home.
pool, right?
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. And so, and from what you'd said, is there any locations don't count for fatigue points?
The control points for the towns that are listed there on the map, generally the way they work is that if you control them and then you lose them, you have to take that number of fatigue points and send them to the enemy.
Right.
But we're not doing that because the points don't matter. So
Okay.
in general, it's right now it's just what you're expending is going to count.
Okay. All right. That is good to know, I guess. So I'm just trying to figure out. I've got the guard units here by the cemetery, and so I'm wondering, does it make sense? So like when I play Eylau and Labatai, usually I'm hiding the guard behind the town and behind the cemetery. so that way they don't get pasted by all the Russian artillery. Um, but I'm not sure here with how things are if that. So the target is obstructed. That's just a -2 on the roll. You've got a +1 since it's heavy cavalry. I mean, heavy artillery in most cases. So the best you could muster against me would be 8 points. 2, 3, 4, 5. At a range of 5, that's 1. So that's you're on the 8 chart, and there'd be a -1 on the die roll. That's not very good.
No, it's not. It's going to be a tridding at best.
Yeah. Well, and I don't, my units aren't all that big to begin with.
No, they're not.
Yeah. So it might be better for them just to hunker down behind the buildings, and you can still take a little. I don't know if you'll be able to hit them or not. I mean, this guy, it's right along the hex side. I don't know what the rules for line of sight are if it's along the hex side. Do you remember?
Along the hex side is okay.
Oh, okay. So he's going to get hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I say that
6.
because I just ran into this with one of the editors and I asked him, and that's what he said, but I am often wrong.
Yeah. Um, okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'll just hang out there and see how things develop.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and start. And I'm going to just put this in the log. I'm saving the log if that's okay. So just for fun.
Yeah.
Go back up here. And I'm going to place my first cube. Got to get the cubes out. Where are the cubes? First one is a fire, right?
No.
That's the first thing we do.
No, I think it said
First
that you
fire, then
don't
Russian
start.
activation.
Is that what it said? I thought it said you don't have the first fire cube. Am I
Uh,
reading it wrong?
Put aside one fire combat and one Russian AC at the beginning of the game. Place the Russian AC on the army sheet in the first activation box. It activates. Oh, you're right. You don't fire it. Oh
Yeah.
no,
So
it
you
starts
basically,
with it starts with a simultaneous fire combat segment, followed by an activation of any Russian formation. So on page 4, fourth paragraph from the bottom, fifth paragraph from the bottom.
I am missing that. Where is it?
Am I crazy?
At the beginning of the turn, game turns, pull all 13 ACs and 2 fire combat cubes in the bag. So I see that.
Are you looking at the 1.4 rules they're called? The English version 1 through 4 web PDF. That's the latest.
Okay, so the 11 a.m. turn starts with a simultaneous fire combat segment. Yes, followed by an activation of any Russian
Yeah.
formation. Put aside one fire. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I see it. All right, so it's snow, and I don't know what snow means. We've got a couple people signing
No,
in. We've got Mikhail Kolowski, version 1.5 are great. We've got Grandi Frederick. Greetings, folks. I played the old Labatai Eylau and liked it. Want to see if it's worth giving Sound of Drums games a try at this point. So, greetings, gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. Um, okay, yeah, so what does snow do?
looking it up right now. I
Snowfall.
think
Line of sight reduced to 4 hexes. No artillery fire beyond that range, a range of 4 hexes. The CP of Napoleon and Bennigsen is reduced by 2 CPs each. Also reduce their available AC number by 2. Okay, well, we don't have Napoleon or Bennigsen on the map, so we don't have to worry about that. So it's just basically limiting the artillery range of the guns to 4 hexes.
That seems pretty useful since nothing you have is within 4 hexes. So I've fired all my artillery that I can.
Okay, so now we just go to the
Oh,
Russian movie thing. Oh, actually, no, we do have some
we
guns down
do.
here
We
by
do. You're right.
Bagavoo and Serfalin. Yeah,
Yeah.
1, 2,
Okay.
3, 4. We can exchange some shots at each other for what little it's worth. What have you got?
Absolutely.
You've got 3 guns over there. I got 2 guns over there.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think under movement orders, I am still allowed to fire. So,
Yeah, you're allowed to fire in the simultaneous fire phase. Yeah, absolutely.
okay, all right. Well, you've got more stuff than I do. So why don't you start? You can start with like this guy here, and we'll just kind of work our way down.
All right, so let's do that. So here's one, and I'm going to give him a smoke layer. And so he's firing 2
At a range
at
of 4,
4,
so he's on the 2 chart, and it's a -1 for snow. So you basically
right?
have to roll boxcars to hit anything.
Yeah. And
No.
that's not it.
Okay, you
And
want
then
to
the
fire
next
the
one's
next
going to fire.
guy?
Yeah. And he doesn't do it. And then the last one. Nope. Oh, wait, I didn't roll that.
I
Sorry.
didn't see. Yeah, I'm like,
There we go.
oh,
11.
you
So
were
close.
close. You were very close.
Yeah.
Okay, I will
All right.
fire back, and I'll just fire at. I'll just pour everything onto this one that Bagavoo is stacked with. So, hey, there's a hit. And we'll throw the second pair of dice. Okay, well, we got at least 1 hit.
And now he's too small to go into a square.
Hooray. I'll get ready to
Right.
charge him now. Oh, I can't.
Yay.
My guys are doing something else.
Right. They're busy elsewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm going to go ahead and clear smoke markers because we don't need those anymore.
Yep.
And there we go. All right.
And so now those were different smoke markers than what you had used previously. Those are the smoke layers, right?
That's a smoke layer that I put on. This is a smoke marker. They're both
Right.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like the smoke layer better than the smoke marker. But I like all the layers better than the markers, kind of thing.
I do too, but they're the mandate. I don't know anyways put it this way, but I don't think that you should ever not be able to play this in Vassal the way that it comes out of the box. You should be able to do more, but you should never drop below that minimum. So
Yes,
got to have
yes.
the layers. You
Yeah.
got to have the
Although
markers.
when we've played this, we've never even bothered with the smoke markers. I didn't even punch the smoke markers
Yeah,
with
I
my
just threw
game.
them on because I did with Mark Trowbridge, but we had a lot of we have a lot of fire because we're all very tightly engaged. So
Are you
it
playing it?
helps when you
Are
have a
you
lot of
playing
stuff
it
working.
face to face with him?
I wish no, we're playing well. Yes, face to face in Vassal. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah,
I thought maybe you'd. I'm saying that when I've played this face to face with people, we are not even using the smoke markers. I didn't even punch them. So I've got like, you know, I don't know. They sent a boatload of smoke markers with the game, and I'm like, this
yep.
really isn't necessary, but maybe with whatever future stuff they do. So, needless to say,
I feel a little bit like opening this game and looking at stuff. It's like it's put out by Gucci. There's extra of everything. Hey, you don't like our loss markers? Here are Abatus loss markers. And
yeah.
if you thought of a third one, he probably would have put those in. I don't feel like I'm getting gypped at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, what are the wacky Russians going to do? Where are they going to
The
put that
wacky
exciting?
Russians.
Yes. You know that's how I refer to them.
I do. Um,
And it's just mostly to annoy you.
ah, right. How to annoy your opponent. Okay. I'm going to put them on the 8th division, I think. Where were we at?
Okay, 8th division. That
Am I
should
correct?
be
I'm not correct. Hold on just a second.
8th division,
I'm lying. I'm lying. They're going on the 2nd division.
2nd division.
Okay, so I'm dragging them over there now.
So that
Do-do-do-do-do, 2nd division.
that's Tolstoy. Okay, cool.
Yep. All right. So I'm gonna leave them in line. So it's 1, 2, 4.
Okay,
And then I'm going to take these two and move them 1, 2. Then this guy, gonna move 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3. All right, and then 1, 2, turn, Tolstoy, and division commanders move last. And corps
correct.
commanders move during the order phase, which is the center of my beef right now with this whole thing. All right, and then this is not reserved, so I should have moved him first. I'm going to just rotate him.
Who's that? Oh,
That's
those
my limbered
guys.
artillery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's exciting.
Great. That's it for me.
Okay, well, we go back to the bag. So I'll grab a cube and see what we get. It's another Russian one. So it's Russian
Oh,
activation number 2. It's like a party.
like a party, only different.
Yep.
I'm going to put him out on the 8th division.
Oh, and where is the 8th division? Oh, it's
Right
not
behind the
down.
2nd,
Okay, so that's Essen.
right? So these guys are all going to limber and do all their stuff except Essen. I'm going to convert them to column and limbered. Okay, so now I'm going to go. So that was all. That's 1 except 2 for the artillery. So 1, Essen back where it belongs. 2, 3, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and rotating. Okay, so I'm going to just check command range, make sure everything's, oh yeah, it's looking really peachy keen. Okay, that's good. All right, I am done. So pull a cube.
Okay.
I'm going to clear moved. There we go.
All right. It's your third Russian activation in a row.
Now this means it's my last one. I can't do another one after this.
Well, the next one's got to either be a fire or it's got to be a French.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
You
not
can't run the
knocked out.
table, as we say in billiards.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta be a little bit better with that. Okay, so where are we at? We need to be here. I'm pulling the 14th division.
Okay. And they are
So,
what? Way in the back. That's Kamenetsky.
yep.
Kamensky. Okay.
And I'm going to start off by doing the same thing and changing all those to column and limbered. So the infantry is paying 1 already.
Do they have to start unlimbered or is there a
No, that's just
reason?
how they pulled out of the thing. But I figure
Oh,
now that it's
okay.
here, I ought to pay the real costs just
Okay.
because. So we're gonna go. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. 2. Well, got them all. 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm just going to double check, make sure I've got no artillery in there, because sometimes I stack artillery in and move it illegally. I don't want to do that. So that's 2,
That's why I always
3.
put the artillery on the top.
I try and do that too, but I fail, so I want to make sure, right? By the way, if you have artillery on top and it's fired on, you still take the losses off the infantry underneath.
Yeah.
It's
The
supposed to
rule
be
is very
stacked on
clear.
top. Yeah,
Yeah. It
right.
says, yeah, if it's stacked with infantry, then the infantry is going to take the hit, not the artillery.
Yeah.
So
Okay, and then I'm going to rotate all of these guys at the same time. That's a snappy turn. I couldn't do that on a parade ground. Over to you.
that is amazing. All right, so let's go ahead and grab something, see what we get. It's another Russian. We can't have that. It's the fire cube. All right, so once again, we're down. I don't think we've got anything else that's happened anywhere else. So
Nope.
we're down there by where Saint Hilaire and Bagavou are exchanging shots. So why don't you do the same thing? Start at the top of your line and work your way down.
Will do. So first one is here.
Yep.
And
Nope.
10 almost.
Close but no
Next one
cigar.
is here. Nope. And then the next one is here. Oh
Nope.
man, I'm getting closer. But
All right.
horseshoes and hand grenades.
I'll take shots. Let's see. Who can I shoot at? We'll shoot at this one. So I've got to roll boxcars twice. Nope. And nope. All right. Well,
All
that
right.
was exciting. All right.
All right.
Now you go back up to the bag, and at least we got the fire cubes out of the way. Hey, the French get to do something. So now the question is, what the heck are the French going to do?
Indeed.
Yeah. I don't know that I want to move anywhere yet. You've got people coming in from that northern area of the universe. So Bessieres is under hold, so I can't do anything with him. Desjardins is under attack, so I guess I could move him. I could move Augereau, or I could put a cube on Murat, banking it for future turns.
Just so.
Now, once I put that on him, is it good for the entire game?
No, it's good until you execute the charge, and the charge you can only do one massive cavalry charge per game, like total
Okay.
game.
Oh,
Right.
okay. So I
So
would
let
put
me
it
just
right. So it's not like I could do it, move the guys up, then do it again, move the guys up. It's only good for that one. So it's a one and done.
it's a one and done, but it's a trigger when if you put one on Murat now,
Mm-hmm.
it basically means that the next time you get a cube, if you want to, you can put it on and do your charge. Or you can just hold it. So now that it's ready. So now instead of moving everything into place and waiting, you can now be totally ready on a hair trigger, move your stuff, and then attack.
Right.
So the way to do this is once you can move your cavalry just as you normally would. Whenever it has a move order or an attack order, you can put it into place any place you want, and it moves as a division. You go on to the next activation and move the next division.
Right.
Move them all independently. But when you get the second activation cube on Murat, now all those cavalry units, all those divisions, 4 divisions, move as one.
Okay.
So that you can now instead of moving, like 10 stacks or 4 stacks of cavalry, you're moving 12 stacks of cavalry, and you're able to put them around your units so that you're forcing them to retreat in interesting directions and all that. It's a pretty useful thing. The second turn, if you want to do it again, you can prolong that cavalry charge with another activation cube. You get to move those same divisions, plus you can add another 2 divisions that
Huh.
haven't been affected already.
All
So you
right.
can move some really big amounts of cavalry.
All
I
right.
don't think you have more than 4 divisions out, so I think you're okay. But that's how it
Yeah.
works.
Okay. I'll have to read up on that before we get to that. I don't, obviously, it's not going to impact this turn because they're all under hold orders. So they're not going
Exactly.
anywhere fast as it is. Um,
Correct.
well, let's see what we want to do. Um, I'm just going to let things develop a little bit. So I'm going to take that cube and I'll just put it on Murat and I'll just see what comes up next. So let's grab another cube and it's the Russians.
All right. Where are we going to go? What have I got available to move? Not one whole heck of a lot. Okay, left wing cavalry reserve and the 3rd division. Where's the 3rd division? No, I like that where it is. Left wing cavalry. Ooh, I don't like that where that is. Okay, let's go look here. All right, and
That's all your wacky Cossacks.
that's just my wacky Cossacks. Okay, so I am activating them, and let's go ahead and check. I've put myself a little bit out of command, although it was in setup. So you'll see that this unit here, this Cossack,
So who did you
has to
put it on?
understand
Left wing cat. Okay,
left
left
wing
wing.
cavalry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy here, this Cossack, if he does not move, he has to stay put. If he moves, he has to move with the intention of getting back under control
Into
of
command. Right.
von Palen.
Okay.
So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this guy can't move that direction. He's got to move to get back in command. So we're going to worry about this. All right, we're going to go. Just moving him aside for the moment.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. 7.
I liked how he
1,
matter transporter.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoop, 5. It's got to rotate. 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoop. They always do that right near the edge. I don't like that. There we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'm done. I'm a little strung out, but that's going to be okay. So let me pull one.
Yeah, let's go back up.
Where's my bag? There we
And it's
go.
another French one. Okay, so the French have to figure out what else to do. So, bup, 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 bup. Well, we see we've got. Let's go ahead and move Mr. Saint Hilaire. That's what he seems to want to do. So let's go find our board, and he is 4th Corps, 1st Division. Okay. All right. So let's go down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and this guy will go into column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. These guys will go into column. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
By the way, I noticed something in the victory conditions. I got to double check this, but I think that you have to have units on the other side of that road, but I don't think it specifies whether those are cavalry or not. And if that's true, I think we need to specify that it's not cavalry. We don't want that.
Well, I think yeah, I mean, right now it's just 20 units, right?
Yeah, I think it should be 20 infantry units. I don't think it should be 20 cavalry units.
Well, you don't
If
have
I were a
20
gaming
cavalry, do
player, I'd
you?
just
1,
what?
2, 3. So how many units
I have
did you have in your cavalry?
I have 20 points of I have 20 points of Cossacks that can make it right there right
No,
now.
no, no. It's not. It's not 20 points of anything. It's 20 physical units.
20 physical units. Okay, cavalry's all right. All
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah,
I'm done.
yeah. So you're not there. Um, but now that's at the end of the scenario.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like you get
Exactly.
20 over the line and it's like, okay, that's it. It's game's over.
Nope,
It's
it's no, not at all. I'm just
yeah,
thinking that it's going to be really easy to count 20 points of Cossacks that you'll never be able to kind of run down, you
yeah.
know.
But it's not. It's not. It's
But
not
that's not
20
it.
points. Yeah, it's 20. Uh, Whatever.
Units.
Yep, 20 units. Okay. All right. And then this guy here. Doot, 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 doot. All right, we'll take him 1, 2. So we'll take him out of, put him into column 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. All right, and then if we put Saint-Hilaire there, everybody is in command range. Okay. It's like a party.
All right.
Back up to the bag.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull one. Oh, you already did.
I already
Never mind.
did.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I'm having all the fun
That's right.
here. All right, so it's another French one. So, we could, let's go ahead and plunk it on Saint-Hilaire again. Get him where exactly we want him. So he will now, everybody will be moving 1 increment less than, or 1 movement point less than they did before. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets him there. This guy can go there. All right, almost, but not quite everybody in. That chap there at the bottom will be out of command.
All right. You drag a cube, but it's another blue. It's your 3rd blue in a row.
3rd blue in a row. All right, so now I got to figure out what to do with anybody else. And that is the question. What do I do with everybody else? I've got 4 cubes left. In theory, you've got how many cubes? You've got 3 cubes left. All right. Well, let's see what we can accomplish here. We'll go ahead activate Desjardins. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and what else? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, Desjardins needs to stay back here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we can move him right there. Cool. Okay.
Okay. Back to the bag.
Yep.
Did you want to put that cube on Desjardins?
Oh, did I not do that?
It seems to be out here. If that's a mistake, we'll put it back in the bag.
So is that not the one? So you didn't just draw that one? Okay.
Yep.
All right,
I'm going to draw him now.
Desjardins. Which one? Who is he? Which
Guard.
division is he?
Guard. Right?
He
No, he's
is
not.
the
Sorry, I
first
lied. He's seventh.
division. First division.
First, seventh.
For whatever reason, I can't move the card when I open up. Oh, there it is. You just have to grab it just right. Okay, cool.
Okay, so you got another blue one to replace the one that we were just discussing.
Okay, I know, but it was my third, so I can't do anything exciting.
So that was your third that you just ran? Okay, so should
I
I put
thought
that back or should
so.
I put that back? Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
so I
I'll pull a green one. I think that was three. I
yeah,
think you
yeah,
moved your
yeah, because I got Murat, and then you got one, and then I moved uh,
the Saint-Hilaire.
Saint Hilaire twice, and then this one.
Right.
Yeah,
And
so that's my
then
three. So
okay.
it's got to be a Russian cube at this point.
We got to play fair.
Yep.
Got to play fair. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the left wing cavalry reserve for a second activation.
Okay.
And let's go down and look at him. Command range. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh wait, so
6.
these guys are forming square, like when you get within 4.
1, 2, 3. How about there? There.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. I've got to wait until you get a little closer.
So you got another one you can put in.
Yep.
Another one.
Yep.
And then another one.
Yep.
And another one. Okay. 1, 2, 3. That's what was going to stop. Okay. And so then we're going to come up here and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Short teleport at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we're going to go to here. Okay, that's over. Let's pull another cube.
Cool. This time you pull one. I've been pulling so many of them.
Righty ho.
Been having a
Hold
party.
on, get up here. Pull. Blue. Flip to
Oh,
you.
it's the French. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go back to Desjardins, and we're going to attack. We're under attack orders, so we're going to attack because that's what the French do.
Oh, hey, wait, stop. I missed one unit. Let me just move him down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, he was just off the edge of the map.
Oh, okay.
Apologize.
No worries. No worries. Let's clear the moved markers then, so we're all fresh. So I can't change formation in the adjacent to you. I'd have to change formation just before I do that.
Right.
So I'm going to try something really silly, but I want to try it just to see how it works. And that is to do a big friggin' stupid attack on your artillery. Um,
Oh no, please, no.
yeah, no, and I'm wondering,
Don't
just,
stop.
yeah, no, I'm just wondering how it will function. Um, it doesn't seem that there's any modifier for the snow for charging and assaulting. Is that correct?
But gosh, I haven't run into that. Let me just double check what I see.
It only seems to affect fire.
Yeah, I don't see anything there.
Okay.
Bayonets are good in the snow.
Okay. All right. So, with that little bit of excitement, let's see.
To make life easier for you, I need to show that artillery there. I'm bad. Sorry.
What
Because that's
artillery?
all part of the
Yeah,
artillery
no,
reserve.
no, no.
Sorry.
I saw it there. I knew it was there. So, I'm trying to figure out just, I mean, so you're under defend order, so that's going to be a +2. You
Yep.
are, I'm attacking up a hill, right? Where's that at? Assaulting uphill, so that's +4, right? Plus whatever losses I take. And I've got to try to get pretty decent odds to get a -3 to cover that. You're Russian, so there's a +5.
It's as good a defensive spot as you can have.
Yeah, no, no, no. I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, I'm just, yeah, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I figure I might as well give it a try. So these guys they'll go, they can go 1 and um, infantry in line, assaulting infantry in column, no. All right. Well, so they will, if they're in line, they won't suffer as badly artillery fire, right? It's only if you're in square and column that you get pasted. So they can move forward 1. So they're 2 movement points off. No, they're 1 movement point off since it's
One
their
movement went
second
off. Yeah.
activation. So that's 5. So so how do we handle this? If I change formation here, would I have enough to go there? It's going to cost me 2 to go into that
I think you
hex.
will. So you've taken one movement point so far. You're going to flip your formation. That's 1. That's 2. Then it's going to cost 3 to get into that hex plus 1 for moving adjacent to Russians. So you're going to end up with a movement point of 4 there.
4. Okay. Yeah, so I wasn't sure what you deducted it from when you did the flip.
I think it makes sense to take it from where you start. So
Okay.
you had 6 to start with.
Okay. All right. So then this chap is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets him there. And then this guy's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, fiddlesticks, he can't get there. Can he? No. This guy can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but he's got 1 less.
Unless he's light infantry. He is light infantry.
Oh, is he?
So you can make it. Yep.
Oh, okay. Cool. Okay, good. We will shove them in over here. I'm sure they'll be loving that. Good. And then we're going to park Desjardins there. We'll move this guy up here and rotate him. And we can put him in line so he acts as a big speed bump. Well, maybe not a speed bump at all. This guy's going to go 1, 2, 3, and he's done with his movement.
Actually, I think that he might be down 2. Let's check on the army table. Let's go look
Well,
here.
infantry and artillery are just 1 less on their second activation,
Yes,
right?
indeed,
Yeah.
you're right. I wasn't sure if whether it was infantry and artillery or cavalry and artillery. So you're set. You're good.
Okay, so we'll move this guy here, and then this guy's going to go here, and he will be, we'll put him in line there, so we have some sort of flank coverage. Okay, cool. So now
All
it's
right.
time for us to do attack, and you're just going to get a boatload of defensive fire. So all 3
Okay.
of these guys are going to attack that hex there.
Okay. And I'm going to start with my fire here.
Yep. So
So
those
this guy
are,
is in line. There's 4. So it comes out as 8.
yep, so you're on the 8 chart.
And I don't think there's any
That's
modifiers.
defensive
Oh,
fire,
there's a
so you get a
-1.
+1.
But I
And
also
then
get
a
a -1
-1
for
for the
snow.
snow. So it's just on your 8 chart, no pluses, no minuses. So chuck your dice. A 6 is a
That's not
miss.
going to do it.
Okay. All right. So he's
So
smoky.
this guy is going to fire. Oh, that's going to be a bad one.
Yeah, because you've got 8 and we are adjacent. So
So it's
you are,
quadrupled.
yeah,
32.
32. So you're on the 19 plus chart.
19
You've
plus.
got a +1 for heavy, +1 for defensive, and -1 for the snow. So you have a +1 altogether. So go ahead and roll. See what you get. A
8.
7. That's going to be an 8.
8.
So
So we
that's
got a
2
2.
hits. Okay. So, and it comes off the top unit, right?
Top unit.
Okay. Poor guys. Okay. All right. So we need to, do we have any markers that say like how many hits? Do we have any numerical things?
No,
Okay.
we
Okay.
don't.
No worries. I just wrote down 2. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
On to the next one.
That's important, isn't it? Yeah,
It is
attacking.
important.
Right, because we take a -1 for each SP lost.
Exactly. Yep.
Yep. All right. Okay, this guy, I think, according to the rules, has to split his fire. So 1 is going to go here and 1 is going to go here.
Does he have to
So
split
the
it
top one,
among all of them or only between 2?
I don't think you can divide an artillery by 2. I think if there were an infantry, gosh, maybe I can. All right. Well, then let's go.
Well, let me just check here real quick in the rules. Because I thought there was something about when you are defensive fire had to be
You're in
split.
square for sure.
Well, yes, with square definitely, or in something else, but assaults. Doesn't talk about defensive fire there. Defensive fire. Fire combat. I'm not sure. Defending units react. Defending units execute 1. If attacked through its frontal hex, any facing determine die roll modifiers. So where does it even talk about them having to split? Is that under fire?
It should be on defensive fire. Let me go to notebook. Hold on, let me
Yeah,
just find it.
I can't actually see where it actually says the word defensive fire. I mean, it says it under the assault thing, but then it doesn't. I couldn't find anything that.
Yeah. Okay. When a unit could fire at more than one adjacent target, the player has to split its fire strength, but must fire with at least one SP per eligible target. Units in different hexes may fire at the same target, but don't combine their fire strengths. Target may be fired upon more than once in the same fire segment. Okay, so let's look at that. Reference on that is it looks like it's under the DRMs. Okay. If there's an infantry and an unlimbered battery in the same hex, they may both be fired at the same or different targets. If an artillery or infantry fire could fire at more than one target, the player must split its fire strength. Okay, so it says if an artillery unit could fire, it must split. So that's the answer there.
Okay,
My
so
question
then
is, where
you'd
is
have
that in the
to.
rules?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it did bring it up in Notebook LM, so it's pulled it for something. It
Right.
doesn't list the rules section there though.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I seem to recall that you had to fire at everybody who was attacking you, so you had to split it.
It might be under 21.3. Resolution of fire. Nope. Resolution of fire combat. There we go. It's in 21.3, it's towards the bottom of the page on page 26.
Okay.
So that makes me feel better that we actually found it.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I see it. It's in bold. So it's something that's newer that they added.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
I think it's a clarification.
All right. So
Oh,
you've got 30, 30, 32 fire
well, I've got
value.
30. Yep.
And so you've
So
got
I
to spread
probably,
it out over three.
right. So I'm going to take it. Where's my chart? Where's my chart? Okay. So if I've got 32, okay, I'm going to take it 2 points here. All right.
Okay.
So that's 2 points plus one plus column. So that's the 2 points plus two,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
And it's a defensive fire, so it's plus three.
So you're on the two chart.
And I rolled an 11.
Okay.
So
So
that's a
that's
point.
a miss. Oh, no, you're on the two chart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're up to another hit. Okay, cool.
Right. Now this guy here, the remainder of this is 30. So I'm going to fire 15 points here and then 15 here. So
Okay.
let's take this 15 first.
Yep.
So it's 15 plus one for heavy plus you're in a column or are you in a line? You're in a line.
He's in line.
So
Yeah.
it's plus one and plus two because it's defensive fire. So
Just a plus one, net a plus one. So a seven becomes an eight.
well, it's heavy artillery too.
Right. So, but you've got the snow, which is minus one.
Oh, the
Defensive fire is
minus one. Yeah,
plus
yeah, yeah,
one.
yeah. I didn't subtract that. You're right. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. Okay. So it's an 8 on that table, which is a 1. No, wait,
One.
it's not.
On the 15 table, an
It's
eight.
I was looking at the wrong table. I was at the 14. So that's 2.
Two hits. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then 15 on this guy.
Okay. And that
And
one you're
that's
going
a
to have
4,
a
5. There's nothing. 5. Oh, that's a
you'll have a
1 point
plus
on this.
3. Oh. So that's
Okay,
going to
you're
be a
right.
7.
Still a plus
That's a 1. That's 1 hit.
1.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's mark that. All right. So let's take a
And
look at
then,
our odds then. Oh, no, you still got more shooting to do, don't you, with these other two guys?
unfortunately, yeah,
Yeah.
these guys are adjacent to something that's being attacked. So if they're adjacent, they get to fire. So they can only fire at the one thing. So I'm going to fire at 32. And I lied. That's just a 4. Right? There's just a 4 there. So it's a 16. So it's once on the 16 table plus 3.
Okay.
Plus 1 for heavy, plus 1 for Russian, plus 1 for column, and then snow. So it's a plus 2.
Okay.
So that's a 7 plus 2 is a 9 on the, what did I say, 16. That's 2.
2 hits. Okay.
And let me add smoke, and they're all good. Okay.
Okay.
This guy does not have defensive fire because he's not adjacent to something that's being assaulted. So we're good.
Oh, so he doesn't fire. Interesting. I thought
Right
he would because he's
adjacent.
adjacent to a guy who's attacking somebody who is. But you're saying it's only the it's only adjacent to the target hex.
Well, now you're making me think twice. Sorry
Yeah.
about this. It
No, I mean,
just got to come. Got
I'm
to check it out.
happy if that's the way you want to interpret it. It's one less bit of damage that you're going to do to me.
Okay, I want to get go to the bottom here. Oh, that's got a lot there to say, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm
Okay,
just trying to find where it says defensive fire anywhere, and I can't.
when a unit is being charged, it may execute 1 fire combat as defensive fire. The assaulted or charged units and units adjacent to the charging units that have not been or will not be assaulted themselves may execute 1 defensive fire.
So it's adjacent to the charging units, not adjacent to the target hex.
You are right.
Yeah.
So there is another fire.
Yep.
Okay, so it's another 16, and it's plus 3. So it's a 7 on the 16,
It's probably
which is
another
1
hit.
hit.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so let's now go and do our calculations.
Oh, I hate to be real pain in the butt, but there actually is an infantry unit there, so it does get 8. So it didn't hit anything. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it didn't take a loss.
No, it did take a loss. There's an infantry unit and an artillery. The artillery
Oh,
caused the
okay.
loss. The infantry unit took its fire for 3 times 2 is 6, got a 5 finish
Okay.
day, so it doesn't hit.
Okay. All right. So now we do our numbers, and we've got, I got 10 plus another 11 plus 8. So I should have 3 to 1 odds on you there. Okay, so 3 to 1, that's going to be a -2. Okay, you're Russian, so that's a +1. You're under defend order, that's +2.
So we're in net 0 now.
No, we're at a +1 now. Because
Okay.
3 to 1 is only a -2 for infantry.
Okay.
If I were
thought
cavalry,
so.
that would be a
Cavalry
different
was-
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with all the losses that I took, I went from being 4 to 1 to 3 to 1. Right? So we're at a +1 right now. You're being attacked from more than 1 hex, so that's a -1, so we're back down to 0. artillery alone in a hex. So it's a -5. Okay, so we're at a -5. Now we go to at the leader. You don't have a leader present.
Nope.
So now we go to SP's lost due to defensive fire. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Right? So now we're at
Yep.
+4 on the die roll. And then I'm attacking up the hill. So now we're at +6. But I've got my leader there, and he's worth 2.
Yep.
So he then brings it down to a +4. I think that's how
+4.
it all works out. Okay.
I
All
think so
right.
too.
Yep. Yep. So let's see if we can roll low.
Low, low.
Nope, not
Oops.
with that. So that's going to be a loss for, I'll take a loss, I guess.
Yep. You'll take one
One,
SP.
one SP, yep. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so that's kind of how it went historically.
That kind of hurts.
It does, but it was worth trying. I wanted to see what would happen because we hadn't really done anything like that in the previous games.
Yep.
Um, and you know, I attacking from, so if I had attacked from just the single hex here, right? We would have had, and I just took I think I only took a single loss. So it would have been 1 for that. I think it's all the defensive fire that really, all those hits with the defensive fire that really wrecked it. So if I
Yeah.
just
And
attacked
then,
with that guy, it would have been 1-to-1 odds, probably. Yeah, it would have been 1-to-1 odds. So there wouldn't have been any die roll modifier for that. So you would have had +1 for Russian, +2 for the defensive. You would have had a +5 for the for all of the being on the hill in defensive orders, being Russian. So, but then being artillery alone would have been a -5. So that would have been a net 0, right?
yep.
And then I took 1 hit, so that would have been then a plus or a +1. And then my leader would have been a 2, so it would have been a -1 after everything
Hey, Eric,
else.
I've got to cut it short because
Yep.
the Prince Matt of the Russian forces has to take his kid to school.
Okay. Well, no worries. I'm going to hit the big fat save button here.
Hey,
And
this has been interesting so far. This is a real learning experience.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, it's been a hoot. I will catch you next
Okay.
week. Take care.
Catch you next week.
All right.
Bye-bye.
And for all of you people tuning in from all parts of the universe, we just had a thoroughly destructive infantry assault on some guns, and that did not at all go well. So we've learned an important lesson. Don't do that. Or what actually we learned was it would have been better if this guy had just made the attack all by himself instead of adding these guys in, and these guys all got pounded, and because of those additional defensive fire hits, it tipped the scale in favor of the defenders. So that would have been better off assaulting from a single hex instead of trying to attack from multiple hexes. So live and learn. So all right, well, I'm going to unless anybody has any sort of comments, thanks for tuning in, and we will see all of your happy, smiling virtual faces on the next episode.